Well, with all the construction going on here in New York these days and the old landmarks being torn down to make way for glass skyscrapers, it's reassuring to know that tradition can live side by side with progress. Now, a case in point is the music hall's traditional Easter show, which is housed in one of those giant skyscrapers, as you well know. The Easter show has long been a must for native New Yorkers as well as from visitors from all over the country. And Frank Quinn, popular entertainment editor of the Daily Mirror, has a report on this annual pageant. Frank?
Thank you, Art, but we have with us the man behind the scene at the music hall, the vice president, senior producer of the world's largest theater and in charge of the world's largest stage, Mr. Leonadorf. Except I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. How is it, Leon?
Well, I think we better ask Bob Hope. He is now quite an expert on Russian pronunciations, and I think that would... I really believe it should be Leonidov, but...
We'll remember Leonidov then.
Right.
Leon, how long has the Glory of Easter been at the music hall?
I think that is the 26th year, Frank.
How many performances would you say that has given?
Well, wait a minute now. I need... well, it's 26. We run usually the Christmas show for about 5 weeks. Now, we play to
and
about...
the Easter show 5 weeks.
That's right.
About the same.
The show plays 4 shows a day. It's about 25,000 people a day. Now, that's about what? So about 140,000 people a week. Now, the rest of it you figure out.
I would say in 25 years, then, it's probably one of the longest running shows. Probably longer than Life with Father, Hell's a Poppin', Tobacco Road, South Pacific.
Yeah, I believe so. It is, yeah.
Tell me, Leon, what was the origin of Glory of Easter?
Well, I tell you, it's very amusing. It started out, I saw a few passion plays in Europe and here. And one day we were sitting down with Max Reinhardt, and I asked him a question if he thinks that he was preparing the miracle, I think, then. And I asked him if he think it would be a good idea to show a religious processional or religious number in a public theater of our kind. And he said he thought it would be a very good idea. So I talked it over with our staff, and the first thing that we did was in the Old Roxy, we put in the Last Supper. Well, first I thought it would be a little bit too crude to just present it as a number, so we present it in a form of a triptych.
What is that?
A triptych is a religious, but it's not a toy, it's actually a religious box that has 2 little doors and it opens up, and we duplicate one that I found in Padua and Italy.
Oh, this you used too, the same idea in the Nativity. When
That's right, that's right. And then when we came to the Radio City Music Hall, the first thing we did is get together and build this Glory of Easter.
How many people perform in this?
There is about 200 and some odd people in the cast. The entire company participates in that.
I discovered a story. Of course, the music hall is famed internationally. I think the last figure I saw was something like 165 million people, which is practically the population of the United States have visited the music hall in the 25 years. I discovered that you had an audience with the Pope, and he commented on it. What were the circumstances?
When Pope Pius was Secretary of Vatican City, he came through the United States because they had a meeting, I think it was in Los Angeles. And I met him then through a friend of mine, which was the chief organist of the St. Patrick's Cathedral, Pedro Yon. And Pedro introduced me to him, and he came down to the Radio City Music Hall, and he saw the Glory of Easter. And the next time I went to Rome, Pedro Yon arranged an audition with Pope Pius.
Leon, I presume there might be one person who hasn't seen it. Shall we show him your photograph?
Yes, actually. This is approximately the final shot of the Glory of Easter.
Yeah, the forming of the cross.
Which is the formation of the cross with the white lilies by the kids. It opens up really with a processional of this choir moving up to the choral stairway on each side. And there is quite a Gothic kind of a form of procession.
It's beautiful. I've seen it almost for 25 years. Now, I'm glad you brought 2 girls from the other part of the show, the Russell Market production.
Well, you see, the second half of the show this year is produced by a colleague of mine, Russell Market, which, by the way, did a very good job out of the show. The second half, which is called, I think, In the Spring. Well, tell you the truth, you cannot talk about the Radio City Music Hall without bringing in the famous Rockettes. So I got a surprise for you. So they're just two pretty girls sitting out here, I hope.
Let's see, we have Mary Lou Smith on my left and Lorraine Rusty Hurley on the right. They're dressed as the girly birds. And when you see 36 Rockettes, they have no identity, but this is probably one of the few times.
No question, the pretty birds.
They are pretty birds.